students to maybe use like, again, if you go to Google Plus Community, there's a lot of apps that were suggested, but like maybe a voice changer app. So maybe a student's really shy and they don't like presenting. Allow them to record it on the voice recorder and then maybe put together some sort of presentation that way if they were acting out a scene. Or they can make a comic book or whatever. Okay, so that's where we want you guys to maybe allow your students, if you have the time in class, to jump on here and say, all right, maybe you found some PBL posting that was really connected to the lesson, or it's the output at least could be applied to your story project. Let them watch it, get some discussion going, and then let them try to reproduce it or make it better. Okay? Then after they do that, they can log on to their portfolio. So this is mine. I have a little avatar, and that's really cool. You can let the kids personalize their avatar on some sort of avatar website and put it up. And then they can post whatever. So they can post video links, they can post just a blog post, they can post a picture of their output, whatever they want. And I think what would be really cool is if you're doing a class where it is like a summary of the book or something like this where it's going to apply to other students in the level, right? Why not get them to copy paste it and put it on here if it's really good? And then other students that are in locations that are outside of Seoul, that are maybe in Busan or something like this, they can read it, comment on it, and there we get that network going. Okay, so that's where we really want you guys to go on and try to utilize.
So is this like the comparable to like your wall, your Facebook wall?
Yeah, it's like a feed. Yeah, exactly. And you can like certain people. So if you really like someone's post, you can like them, and then you can see all their postings. Now, this is still in development, so it would be great if you guys do try it out and give us more feedback, more suggestions, so we can make it better. Okay. Finally, we have our story. So this is really cool. We get teachers, and we let them blog about something. So instruments they play, their goals in their life. So we might even be contacting you to have a story shared on here. The fun part is you can get your students to check it out and have a laugh or whatnot in class. And then we have news. And these are just random things that are happening that are current. So we had like the ramen burger from Lotteria. We have the issue of, I think it was coffee drinking or something. Anyways, all sorts of different things that are happening, and they're up there. Okay, so again, highly encourage you guys to use this in class, and if there is a story project in any story module class that you teach, why not share it on here? Let the students build their own portfolio, so as the terms go on, they can see what they've done and how they've progressed. Okay, finally, after the story project, we have one final thing for the students before they go home. We want them to at least be interested in coming back the next day or the next lesson, right? So we want to encourage them to, yes, read, but also kind of be aware of what they're going to do the next class. So that's where this comes in, upcoming. And it's got an image with a teaser of what they're going to expect next time. Okay. Now, for the learning cycle, in the handout that you received, you will notice a much prettier version of this cycle, okay? It's got like almost like a Monopoly map with the bus traveling around. So, when you start, that means that they're starting with C learning. Does anyone know what C learning is? Sorry, class learning, very close, very close. Collaborative learning. So they're collaborating in class, okay? So that's where they did all this, which I just talked about. Afterwards, they go to I-learning. So if it's collaborative, the opposite would be independent, yeah. So they do this either at home or wherever they are that's outside of class, and they start with their vocabulary, their chunks, and listening activities for this module. After they complete those, they do some sort of writing output where they explore subtext, media, or just personalizing something. And that will rotate depending on what week it is in the term. And then they come back to school. Now, they also have this thing called extensive learning, which is that loudest brain stuff, but we also have a media library. So if they want to maybe use images that we have of characters or scenes or whatnot, they can just go in the media library and take pictures from there. Or articles. Okay, now I want to talk about the odd one out of the group of V1 classes. It's V1 Terra. So V1 Terra is split up half and half, where they have a storybook and then they have Mark Zuckerberg. And Mark Zuckerberg's book, has anyone seen Mark Zuckerberg's book? No? It's a book full of quotes, different things that he said. So being a story class, it's kind of hard to follow like that narrative if it's just quotes. So what we've done is we've implemented a video, Groundbreakers. So this looks overwhelming, but basically I just wanted to quickly let you know that the first half of this class would just be the book, regular reading the book in class. The second half of the class would be watching the Groundbreakers video, which is a documentary of Zuckerberg, and relating that to the book, okay? And that would be Boy Billionaire. So we were taking certain quotes out of the book and relating it to this narrative, which follows more of a storyline kind of thing. Okay, so I'll show you right here. When you log on to if you're teaching Terra, you will notice one main difference is this. So before, we only had a story arc that followed in a singular line. Here you'll notice we have the Groundbreakers, which is the video, and then we have Boy Billionaire, which is the book. The Groundbreakers is the major component. The book is supplementary, okay? So that means when students do homework, they just preview the video, preview it at home, and then with the supplementary, they can just go to the quotes and see how they connect. Then they come to class prepared to discuss what they saw. Okay, so for instance, as we go down, they just literally watch the video of him, and then there will be the same things with the comprehension questions and the subtext questions. And of course, our important artwork will be there as well. Okay, here, like this. So video supplemented with the quote and then subtext. Okay. Okay, tips. When teaching this class, this is just kind of tips that I've gathered when I was teaching V1 and from teachers that have taught V1. So as you guys have predicted, the biggest struggle was students not reading the book. So that's always going to be a struggle. And since we're not doing like a physical homework check and we don't grade their homework, certain things can help let the class keep moving. So a lot of times on your tab you will have a game or quiz function. Do you guys know what that is? Okay. So in training you should have learned there's like that yes/no button or the multiple choice or the voting. Often I would just kind of talk about the theme of what's happening in the book and let the students give me a response. At least it was meeting the objective of them understanding what's happening to the characters, right? Videos. Check on YouTube for videos. So again, if something's happening in the book that you can find a video about to relate to, that's really exciting. This is a really cool suggestion that the branch that I was teaching at did, is we suggested on ESNO, there's a diary, creating your own diary book. So basically in everybody's tablet, they're keeping their own portfolio of projects in ESNO. And that way they could keep track of characters, they could keep track of events, they could keep track of settings. So the first day they might screen capture the character page and then just write down what they're learning about every character so they don't forget, since there are so many characters throughout the book. The next day they might do an event. So it's just kind of like, yeah, a little journal of what's happening. So that was really helpful to certain teachers. Sometimes since the structure of each act is so similar, some teachers find that students get bored with the format. So that's where you can come in and kind of change it up. You don't, again, have to do every single comprehension, fill in the blank, just for the sake of doing it. Pick the ones that are exciting, change it up. You can even, there's certain parts where they've just got quotes of what the character said. Give them a few minutes to act out the scene. Put them into groups and say, okay, I want you to go to this page, see what happened, act it out. Or act out how you would have responded in the scenario. And then you could break up the class that way as well. Drawing cards are really fun as well. Get them to draw the setting, get them to draw how maybe a character is feeling. Now, that's basically all I have for the presentation, but I think the biggest thing I want to stress about V1 is do not make it a in-class reading class. That would be the most boring class. Don't worry about having to complete every single page. Main thing is get that objective of them being able to visualize what's happening to the characters and understand and empathize in different points of view. Yeah. So, that's it.